Okay, so I am going to be reading a social story today for a client who has a crush on his teacher. So the social story is called What Do I Do When I See My Crush? It's a social story. So I go to school every single day. I see my friends and teacher. I like my friends and teacher. I really like another teacher in the school. I see her around the building. And so at this point, I would likely talk with my client about potential places that he sees her around the building, such as the common areas, the cafeteria, the motor room, the playground, etc. Sometimes when I see her, I don't behave appropriately. I giggle too much, I throw things, stare, and I say inappropriate things. And so at this point, I would do some discussion about the inappropriate things that he says, what it means to stare, and I likely would do some demonstration of that and modeling appropriate ways to look and how long you should look. The teacher does not like it when you behave this way. When I laugh or stare too much, it makes my teacher uncomfortable and sad. And so I would talk about sad and uncomfortable. This particular client does have the language repertoire to support the discussion of these complex feelings. But I do want to note that it wouldn't be appropriate to include these complex language if your client doesn't have the repertoire to support it. And so I would definitely go into discussion. How do you know if someone was feeling sad? I would model and demonstrate and talk about uncomfortable and what that means. So when you see your teacher, you can say, you can try saying hello, and we would talk about the various ways that you could greet someone, waving, saying hello, etc. You can give your teacher a compliment or ask her how her day is going, such as, I like your hair, how has your day been, I like your shoes. And then I would definitely, for this particular part of the social story, I would also model inappropriate compliments and inappropriate questions to ensure that it doesn't lead to more inappropriate behavior. This will make your teacher happy, and I would definitely be talking about how do you know if a teacher is feeling happy. While she's smiling, her eyebrows are raised, etc. Talking about what it means to feel happy. If you can't talk to that teacher, that's okay, because we know that if you have a crush on someone, sometimes that is difficult, so you can ask to take a break or leave the area. And so at this point, I would discuss how to go about doing that. You can talk to your teacher and say, hey, I'd like to leave. I would give him scenarios, and we could even role play and practice some of this. And that would be how I would approach utilizing a social story for a client who has a crush on a teacher in the building. So I wanted to make sure that I had an introduction, and then the body of it, talking about inappropriate behavior, appropriate behavior, and what to do at the end as a conclusion. And so I would definitely use these slides, but also I feel it's important with social stories to do a lot of discussion and teaching while you utilize them as a supplemental material. And so that is my social story for what to do if you have a crush on your teacher.